Scope.
Well, another round of wet, windy weather is headed for the Pacific Northwest and Northern California today. We'll have the details coming up. Good morning. I'm Rick Griffin, and welcome to WeatherScope.
And I'm Mark Mancuso. Meanwhile, in the Northeast, a winter storm is still causing some ice and snow and heavy rain in parts of New England. Heavy rain made the morning commute a rough one for you in Natick, Mass. Here, Natick's just off to the west of Boston, and about 1.5 inches of rain fell and made the streets wet and forced motorists to slow down. There are a lot of big puddles on Route 9 there in Wellesley and in Newton, as there were some delays. And also in downtown Boston, problems on Starro Drive as well as Memorial Drive and Morrissey Boulevard too. Okay, as we take you into the Northeast here, you see the big swirl. That's our storm, and here is our conveyor belt of moisture moving up and banging into New England. Westerly flow bringing some what we call downslope drying into the mid-Atlantic and into the Carolinas. We have enhanced the satellite picture for you so you can see some of the colder cloud tops in the shades of yellow and orange. So this is where you see some of your heavier precipitation, and coming up through southwest Maine here, we do have a band of heavy precipitation, and with this band of heavy precipitation we've been looking at a quick inch or two of snow, and then the precipitation changes over to rain. So very mild, moist air coming around this low pressure parked over northern Ohio. Let's get you right into the conveyor belt here, and there you see that heavy rain now shifting east of the Boston metropolitan area, but coming right up Buzzards Bay and up the Cape Cod Canal around Falmouth there. Wow, it is pouring heavy rain, gusty winds here. Winds have been gusting 30 to 50 miles an hour on the coast. Up to the north, here you can see a lot of yellows and oranges. Heavy rain, heavy wet snow. Portland, heavy rain, heavy wet snow mixed right now, so it's a real mess. But up here, Mount Washington Valley on up to mountains of western Maine, good 3 to 6 inches of snow for any changeover or a tapering off. To the west, it's rain, and still a good soaking rain in through northern and central Ohio. Headed up I-71 here from Columbus to Cleveland. Ooh, a lot of rain. As we check temperatures out, look at how mild it is. 36 in Bangor, 40 in Burlington, 42 in Albany, and off to the west, 40s and 30s common. Where we've seen the downslope, temperatures a little milder at Washington, D.C. Wrap around, low clouds showing up here in the Tennessee Valley, down to northern Alabama, North Georgia. Sunshine, though, along the Gulf Coast. And there you can see the front slipping south of the Florida Peninsula. Checking on the radar, we do see the frontal zone right here. Showers lined up along that. A lot of this, I do believe, is what we call radar trash, ground clutter. As you can see here, air very pleasant in Florida today with the drying coming in. 73 Miami, 63 Jacksonville on the first coast. And underneath those low clouds, 44 in Atlanta, 45 in Birmingham. Rick?
Well, Mark, you'll see locally heavy rain and strong blustery coastal winds. That is the folks in Northern California and parts of the Pacific Northwest today as another strong system moves on shore. But by late tomorrow, an even more potent Pacific storm may bring rain as far south as Southern California. Let's get a look at the latest highlights as we check out the Eastern Pacific satellite picture with the fronts on there for you. And we see front number 1 right now, Pacific Northwest coast. Here's the next system out here. It's got a stronger low center with it and a more significant cold front. This is the storm that heads into California, actually splits. The weaker portion heads towards Washington and Oregon. The stronger part, the wetter part, heads towards California on Thursday. So even though you're getting a bit of a respite in the rain, Southern California especially, get set for some more wet stuff. Mudslides, gusty winds, heavy mountain snows as we head on towards the weekend. And talking about the weekend, there's even a separate storm farther west that'll probably affect you by Sunday, so we'll keep you posted. Here's the rain in the northwest, Seattle to Salem, snow up in the Cascades light. There are a few snow showers or flurries near Salt Lake City, particularly up on the benches. And in Colorado, some of you have been dealing with snow, especially east of the Continental Divide, from the town of Castle Rock southward through Cannon City to about Trinidad. There's a bit of an upslope flow in here around low pressure in New Mexico. We have reports of snowfall of 1/2 inch per hour in this corridor, the I-25 corridor. So highway conditions a little less than ideal, reduced visibility, snow coating the highway in some spots. So if you're traveling south of Denver over the Palmer Divide, down towards the New Mexico border. Take that into account. Speaking of New Mexico, rain and snow for you from Truth or Consequences to Tucumcari. Those two spots, very light rain, but over the Sandia Crest and down through the Sacramento Mountains, it's snowing, and it is snowing heavily at times around the ski resort of Ski Apache, for instance, high up in the mountains there. Low pressure coming out of Arizona into New Mexico, while we see a warm front, cold front combination approaching the Pacific Northwest coast. So it's raining in Seattle, 43, variable clouds, San Francisco, 47, a few flakes of snow near Salt Lake City, and at Albuquerque, both locations officially 34 degrees. By February standards, not all that cold. Plains and Midwest, Great Lakes, it is blustery though. The clouds are thick and there is spotty